clicking on the video. This is going to be my recap and review for Real Housewives of Orange County. This is season 16, episode 6. It was boring, so I don't think this review is going to be long, but I've said that before and it's been longer. So let's get into it. Before I get into any reviews, I talk about the drama that comes down my timeline. And this one popped up today. And it's like Heather's and Noella's like response to last night's episode. So we're going to talk about it in the recap and review, where when Heather and Noella sat down, Heather was filming like a infomercial / commercial for these gummy like vitamins and stuff like that, and Noella kind of made some comments about it, but this was Heather's response. So Heather posted a screenshot of her conversation that she had with Noella through text messages, trying to say she confirmed that like she told Noella they were filming for an infomercial. So this is what it says. It says, "Hey, so nice to see you. Sorry for all that you're going through. Thinking about you." And it was a heart emoji. Noella responded and says, "Thank you so much. That is very kind of you." 3 heart emojis. Then Heather responds and she says, "I'm glad you're free tomorrow. Thank you for coming to my place. We are having a whole weekend of shows at Shop HQ, so I am a little locked in. Hope things are better in your world. See you tomorrow." And Noella hearted it. So then this is what Heather captioned it. She says, "When you thank her for coming to your house to clear the air and move forward because you're working all weekend, and she comes over and pretends not to know and trashes your business and your character. Well, all of this and more at the reunion!" Exclamation point. For a full recap and episode, listen to Heather Dubrow's World Podcast! Exclamation point. Link in bio. Hashtag RHOC. Hashtag Sweet 16. So then Tamra, who's thirsty and she not on the show no more, she had a very bad exit. I was going to say not cool at all. I've worked with housewives like that before and it sucks. But don't worry, they don't last long. Love to know who you slam, cause that's so your style. And it was an eye roll emoji. Then this other person responded and says, "I feel like there are missing messages. You told her to come over without a time. Was that a phone call that led to this text? How do you know Noella was free?" And then Heather responds to the person who posed this question, "Our schedules were coordinated through production. I was just thanking her for coming to my house to meet when we had a break." So then Noella screenshots the what's it called? The screenshot. She screenshots the screenshot and she says this. She says, "A good hostess knows their schedule. I was left waiting in my car in her driveway for 45 minutes. When I asked to use the bathroom, I had to wait 15 minutes for permission, then return back to my car. When I finally was allowed to come inside, I walked into an infomercial. This was a Saturday with my kids. I showed up when I was told to. My time was not respected, and plugging products was clearly more important than making me feel welcome." So here's my thing. Neither one of them are making like a good call, in my opinion, because I feel like I agree with Noella. Like, girl, if you are going to be doing all of that throughout the week, why are we meeting on the day where you have to do all of this information, this marketing? But I also feel like maybe Noella might be slightly exaggerating, but who knows? I don't really care. So let's get into this recap and review. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Okay, so the episode starts off with Heather and Max going to some chakra thing where they like take pictures of your aura, and I guess it tells you where you are deficient in your chakras. So there's like a throat one, a mind one, all that stuff. It was a cute mother-daughter bonding thing. The little girl is like she's 17, probably about to go off to college, and this time is very valuable to her. So I thought that was nice. Then we see Noella and Gina. Gina shows up to Noella's home, and Noella's in her pajamas. We see Rihanna running around, which is the dog's name, which I slightly have a problem of her. And because I think it's because the dog is black, and I'm like, you couldn't come up with no other name. Why did you call the dog Rihanna? I didn't think that was cute. But Noella probably feels in Gina that like she found out where James was, and he's actually in Mykonos, where I didn't really know where Mykonos was until Lindsay Lohan had that reality show, and it is a party kind of town. Like that's the atmosphere. People really go there to vacation, to party and have a good time, but it's in Greece. And she traced Sweet James through his credit cards. So she was like, keep it on the low because he hasn't turned that one off. But she let her attorneys know that's where he was, which was in Greece. I don't know, y'all. I don't really feel that bad for Noella. I feel most bad for the children because I really do feel like Noella gives me scammer vibes. Like, I feel like they scamming. To be honest, I really do feel like they both were scamming each other, and James just turned out to be the bigger scammer, and now Noella got to figure out what she got to do with her life. I do feel like she overshares because I don't think anybody needed to know that she masturbated. Like, I was like, okay, I don't need to know about you touching your good spots. I don't need to know about that, man. But good for her. Hopefully, like, she's, they doing well now. Well, I mean, they're not really doing well because right now they squatting in their house. But yeah, then I don't know. Hopefully she get back on track once that Bravo check hit that account, and maybe they can move to a better place. Then we see Dr. Jen, Heather, and Emily. They're having a spa day. They all sitting in the spa, in the sauna, and they're just talking. Jen's boring. I don't really vibe with Jen. She brings up they're asking her about her marriage. She's the breadwinner. Ryan is more so a stay-at-home dad, but he does have a job. And then we talked about how like 3 days after she got married, her ex-boyfriend, who I guess was like a millionaire, sued her for $85,000, saying that every gift that she got from him, that was like a loan, so he wanted his stuff back. She says he wasn't handsome, but she enjoyed his conversation, so that's what she really liked. She met him after her dad died, so maybe it wasn't the best relationship. Emily starts eating a turkey sandwich because she tired. I'm kind of tired of Emily. The thing about Emily is like Emily be complaining about being fat, but then she does fat things in a sense of like you don't want to be compared to being called like the fat girl, but you're sitting in a sauna while there's the two skinny girls in there drinking like coconut water and you eating a turkey sandwich. And then you make fat jokes about yourself, which then lends to like people thinking that you're mad and insecure. So I was just like, Emily, you got to do better. They go to the nail bar because I guess it was a full spa day. And at the nail bar, Heather lets them in on that she wants to take the ladies to Cabo. And they're all down for it. We find out that like Heather ends up telling them that she's going to have a talk with Noella. We also found out that Jen reached out to Noella and it seems like they're in a better place. But yeah, I mean, y'all, this episode, like this season, even though we're on episode 6, is kind of like a drag a little bit. Like this, like it started off really good, but I think we're like in the middle. So maybe the next episode might kick it up a notch. But basically, Heather was talking to Emily and Jen about how, Noella called me a fake bee, and now I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. But it was crazy because Emily lets Heather know that, like, Nicole told me what she said, because they do a flashback to 2 weeks where they were all at Jen's house when Jen was talking really bad about Noella. And Nicole was the one who is telling everyone that Noella called Heather a fake bee. And I was like, Nicole's a snake. She is a, like, snake. And it's weird because she came in with Noella and then they talked about how they had like matching friendship bracelets and they were like one of a kind and blah, blah, blah. And it turns out that Nicole is just fake. She's a social climber and she's fake. So next we see Shannon and her girls. They're in Tennessee. They're kicking it with the grandmother. They all seem really nice. It was kind of a sad conversation because they're just talking about their divorces. So like Shannon's parents got divorced at 17, and I guess it wasn't a good divorce because Shannon is a product of divorce, and she talks about how she just like she suffered from her parents getting a divorce. And then the other her daughters are saying the same thing. Then you have Sophia, which is her oldest daughter, who's 20, talking about she want to marry Reese. And I think Reese is 22, but the boyfriend you saw last episode. And here's my thing, y'all. There's no reason why you should get married that young. I have learned in my age, you know, as a woman in her 20s, that like anybody who normally gets married like before like 25, marriage normally ends in divorce. I remember leaving high school and like 5 people got married when we were all like 18 and 19. And I think only one of their, out of all those 5 marriages, only one of them is still together. Everybody else, after like 2 years, was like calling it quits. And it turned into like some really like contentious, bitter divorces. So I just feel like she needs to slow down. But I also thought it was kind of sad that she was like, he's healthy for me because he shows me what I'm supposed to get in a relationship, but I sometimes feel like I don't deserve it. And I feel like she should be in therapy because everybody deserves love and the right type of love, like healthy, supportive love. So I'm hoping that they took the initiative and was like, sis, get in the therapy. Because she already talked about, you know, she's already on her own because she's in Texas. And I was like, that's not being on your own, being in college. Yes, you're by yourself because you're in Texas and your family's in California. But on your own, like on your own is like paying your own bills and like legitimately like being on your own, like being an actual working adult. You and him are still like young. So like, why not just date and figure out if this is the person you really want to be with? And then we also found out that Shannon was in a relationship, like she got engaged at 18 and the mom got, like the grandmother got married at 21. But Shannon got engaged at 18 and she was like, she stopped the engagement. She said, had we met when I was 30, I would have married him. But she was like, 18 is too young. And it really is. Like anybody getting married before like 25 to me is like too young. Like for real, because you still got things you want to figure out. Even when you're in like I still got things I'm trying to figure out while in school. So I feel like don't rush it, but it seems like she wants to rush it. So yeah, hopefully she don't marry that boy because that's too quick. So then we see Heather and Noella. So this is what I was talking about in the beginning. So Heather and Noella are like deciding to clear the air. And when Noella walks into the house, Heather is filming an infomercial for like these gummy treats. Noella's first reaction was really like, Heather wants me to be impressed by her wealth. And this is my thing. Even though I feel like Noella gives like scammer vibes, I kind of get where she's coming from, where she's saying that Heather wants me to be impressed by the wealth that she has because everybody else is, but Noella isn't. Because you got Gina, who's a groupie and a fan. Emily slightly is impressed, and so is like Dr. Jen. But Emily and Dr. Jen are women with like who are the main breadwinners in their home. So they're the ones bringing in the dough. So like Heather's wealth is like, ooh, snap, like it's nice, but I don't think they're enamored with it. Then you got Nicole, who is just as much as a groupie as Gina is, probably worse, because like you're buddying up to people that you tried to sue. And then you have Noella, who's kind of, and then Shannon, but Shannon has relatively the same wealth, maybe not as much as Heather, because she's still getting like spousal support from David. And then you have Noella, who's kind of just like, sis, I'm not impressed. Even though I'm going through a lot, I'm not impressed. And so they're clearing the air. And they're like, while they're doing the infomercial, they like, you know, Heather finishes and then they go into her podcast room. And Noella feels like it's very narcissistic. I kind of don't think it is. I mean, like, it's her office. And a lot of people in their office post their accomplishments. Like my mom's office was flooded with, like, you know, her awards, her certificates, pictures of people that she met that were like high profile people. So I'm just kind of like, and even my dad did the same thing with his degrees. So I feel like it's the same thing as when people put their degrees on the wall. Like, shoot, if I take a picture with Oprah, I'm probably gonna frame it and put it in my room, like my office or something like that. So I feel like it's not narcissistic. Plus, it's her house, so if she wants to have her own room that represents her, like, it's her money, do it. So Noella felt like it was narcissistic. So then her and Heather sit down and they talk. And Heather's basically like, sis, what's up with you and me? Because I'm hearing all this stuff from everybody around me that you have very negative things to say about me. But when we in person, we're good. So what's up? So Noella is like, so then Heather brings up the Nicole thing. And Noella was just kind of like, no, it wasn't really meant for you. It was just like, she mentioned your name. I was really raw. And I was just like, F her. F that, like, she phony, she fake, she don't really care about my problems, and it was just me lashing out. So Heather's like, okay, I'll let that one go, like, you got it. But then she said, the one I'm not letting go is you telling Gina to be cautious of me, like I'm out here like hurting people. And so then Noella brings up the whole situation between Nicole and Heather and like the whole lawsuit thing. And Noella just basically was like, my friend told me what it was, like how it was, and then after she spoke with you, her demeanor changed completely. So I felt like maybe something happened. And I get where Noella is coming from, because Nicole's demeanor did change completely, but I feel like you can't base that off of like Heather. I would look at Nicole funny. Like, all of this makes me look at Nicole funny. Nicole is a social climber. Nicole is a leech, and she's a gnat, and she's a snake. Because all the while, like, Noella has been seeming to be very faithful and loyal to her. Now that she's around these women, she's up Dr. Jen's behind, and she's all of a sudden quoting the same things and the same words as Heather. So it's like, who really is changing? And I would be like, look at Nicole, bruh. Look at your friend. So then we get to, what's the next, guys? Oh, and then Noella said something about Heather slamming people up against walls. Now, I felt like that was kind of out of pocket, because I was like, Heather don't even look like she would slam somebody up against a wall. But supposedly Noella figured from the sushi party earlier in the season that, like, you know, when Heather was like blocking out the cameras and trying to move them away and stuff, that she pushed somebody up against the wall. Now, I was like, Noella, that's a reach. But okay, sis, I did agree with Heather when Heather was like, maybe I'm not the right friend for you, and that's okay, because I'm okay. And then Noella's rebuttal was like, well, we could be social friends. And I said, that's not a friend, that's an associate. So y'all are just going to be acquaintances, because clearly you don't want to go deep with Heather, and Heather don't trust you, nor does she want to go deep with you. Then we're at Max's book reading or book signing. It's just like her reading her book. So it was really cute. I'm happy for her that she was able to make this happen at such a young age. Everybody's there. Excuse me. Nicole she paid Noella dust. Like, legitimately, she hugs everybody around Noella and pays Noella dust. And I was like, dang, that's rude. And what we're finding out is that Noella and Noella and Nicole had a FaceTime conversation, and Noella basically said, I haven't heard from you. You know I'm going through a hard time. I'm trying to reach out to you, but you're not really communicating with me. And Nicole basically was like, you want me to be there for you, and I'm not about to get into all of that with you. So yeah, bye-bye. And she hung up on her, and I said, dang. So I guess Noella and Nicole aren't friends anymore. I think the thing is like, nobody knows what the truth is with Noella, especially after I read that information about like the case with James and Noella. So maybe Jennifer and Nicole have like shared stories, and Nicole is feeling like there's something fraudulent and fake about Noella. But it also don't make Nicole look any better. When the way Nicole treated Noella when she was breaking down and crying, it was cringe, and it made Nicole look less than human, basically. So Ryan is there, or Rain. Supposedly Dr. Jen's husband changed his name from Ryan, which is spelled Ryan, to Rain, which is spelled Ryne. But I was like, that's stupid. He don't really like her. He pays her dust. Like, he seems so uninterested in her. So I guess this is gonna be all Juan and Robin, because he don't really seem like he want to be with her. Emily versus Jennifer. You got Emily is drunk as a skunk, running around the park, just drunk. She's just drunk. And so she questions Jennifer about her relationship with her ex-husband. Well, not her ex-husband, her ex-boyfriend. Like, why did y'all really break up? And she said something about like the he wasn't there for me. And then Emily's like, no, you really wanted to be with him because of the money. Because Jennifer was like, no, I really didn't. Like, I really liked him for his personality, but he wasn't attractive. So Emily's like, if he's not attractive, then what else is there? The money. Because Emily can't fathom that Jennifer would be with somebody just because of their personality. When I feel like, girl, that's why you with Shane. You with Shane because of his personality. We end up finding out like Gina breaks them up, but I hate that she was like clapping. Like, that was annoying to me. Like, don't be in my face doing this. Like, you could have just pulled me to the side. You got Heather not inviting Noella to the trip. Drunk Emily like mentions it like slightly to Noella, but doesn't give her the full context. But Heather don't want to invite Noella on the trip because she just is like, I don't like her no more like that. I don't see it for her. Then you got Emily and Shane leaving, and they end the episode with Emily trying to convince Shane to go to the bathroom with her because she gotta pee. And Shane's like, I don't really want to go to the bathroom and watch you pee, Emily. And she's like, don't be mad at me. I'll put out tonight. Just come to the bathroom with me. And he's like, okay, but can I, like, are we gonna do butt stuff? And she's like, yeah, that's fine. Come to the bathroom with me. And I said, what? And y'all, that's where the episode ended. Really, it wasn't nothing. It was pretty dry to me, I think. Hopefully next episode is good. But drop down in the comments below and let me know how you guys feel. And remember to be bravely authentic. And I'm out, y'all. Deuces.